United States President Donald Trump has also spoken on the Iran-Israel conflict amidst the ongoing G7 summit, stating that Iran needs to come to the negotiating table as they are not winning the war.
When might you speak to him?
I've spoken to everybody.
What will you say?
Israel is doing very well, as you probably noticed, and I gave Iran 60 days, and they said no. And the 61st, you saw what happened. Day 61. So I'm in constant touch. And as I've been saying, I think a deal will be signed, or something will happen, but a deal will be signed.
Right.
And I think Iran is foolish not to sign one.
So that, of course, is the latest statement from the United States President now. I think this statement, of course, Pia, being made on the sidelines of his bilateral with the United Kingdom Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Donald Trump speaking there on the sidelines of that meeting, commenting on the Iran-Israel conflict as well. What has he said, Pia?
Indeed, Donald Trump has in fact made quite a U-turn over the last couple of weeks, if I may say so, Uday. We've been seeing efforts by the U.S. administration, in fact, to bring Iran to the negotiating table in order to, in fact, chalk out a deal with them. Remember, earlier, of course, Trump had pulled out of a deal in his first presidency, but now, of course, he's been trying to get Iran to ink another deal in order to stop its ambitions to build a nuclear bomb. But that, of course, seems to not have transpired. There were 5 rounds of talks that were already held between U.S. officials and Iranian officials before Israel, of course, launched its strikes against Tehran. Israel, remember, had sent 200 its jets in order to bomb Iran, and it struck a very crucial nuclear facility at Natanz over there. So as far as Trump's statements are concerned, he's also, in fact, hinted and called for people living within Tehran, especially U.S. citizens over there, in order to evacuate from Tehran. U.S., of course, did in fact provide cover to Israel. They helped, in fact, neutralize some of the missiles that were launched by Tehran. U.S. has also, in fact, deployed its destroyer from the Western Mediterranean to the Eastern Mediterranean. In fact, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also announced the deployment of additional military assets to the Middle East to bolster defenses of Israel as the tensions between Iran and Israel are escalating. But Donald Trump now is calling on people in Tehran to evacuate immediately as Israel is launching a massive military assault. Trump has also not just spoken on the same. What's interesting is that he's also taken to his Truth Social account to issue the warning, and he stated that everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Although he did not provide any further details, this is quite the chilling warning. He's, of course, made these statements as he's met with Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, over there. Iranian media has recently reported explosions and heavy air defense fire in Tehran. Their air defenses were, interestingly, they're also activated in Natanz, which is, as I was mentioning earlier, home to its key nuclear installations, about some 320 kilometers away from Tehran. What's also interesting is that a state-run media building in Tehran was also hit by an Israeli strike. Iran has, in fact, reported the deaths of some of the journalists over there in that particular building. So, of course, it is quite, the situation is getting quite tense. Till now, Iranian officials have reported 224 deaths, mostly civilians. Meanwhile, Israel maintains that 24 civilians have been killed.
Right.
So this is, of course, the latest that is going on.
Absolutely. And we can, of course, expect more comments through the course of this summit by various heads of state, of course, in the next 24 to 36 hours. Appreciate you joining us, Pia, with those details.